I'm going to tell you the exact steps to take when you need to improve an existing product. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another video. My name is Alex. If you want to know about product management, business, and finance, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell icon so you don't miss anything. And of course, smash the like button if you like these type of videos, you want to see more content like this. Today, we're going to be talking about exactly how to improve an existing product. This question comes up a lot during product manager interviews. Improve product X or improve product Y for a particular demographic. And I've got separate videos talking about exactly how to answer the product design questions. But today we're going to go a little bit more at length about how to do this in practice. First thing to keep in mind is that a process of improving an existing product is different from the process of creating a new product, even if it's for a similar purpose. We're going to talk separately about how to create a new product from scratch in a separate video. I'm going to link that there when it's available. For now, we're going to talk about how to improve an existing product. If you are a product manager or if you're a business owner that's come into an existing product or business or service and you are tasked with figuring out how to make it better. First thing you need to do is orient yourself. Figure out what's going on. Who are the different actors that are involved in delivering this product to users or to customers? What is happening? What does the product do? What does the company do? What is the product's objective? What is the company's mission? I ask these questions all the time, but it's even more important when you've inherited an existing product and you need to figure out what's what. First thing you need to understand is what's the status quo. Orient yourself in the environment. Try to make sure you understand what's happening. Write down a list of all the product offerings, all the features, what you're being asked to do, why you're being asked to do that. Get as much detail as you can. Or if you're doing it for yourself, ask yourself, what exactly are you trying to accomplish? So just so you have the lay of the land. Now, if you're a product manager and you're inheriting an existing product, depending on what level you are, whether you're just starting out in product management, or you've worked for some time, or you're experienced product manager, you might be tasked with different aspects of the business. When you're just starting out, you might be asked to improve a certain feature, just a certain feature for a particular user type. As you get a little bit more experience, maybe your job will be to improve a set of features, or to improve an actual product, or to improve a full product, or maybe even a set of products or an entire product line, or maybe even a whole business or a suite of business. Depending on where you are with your experience level, you might be working in different environments and different situations. But the questions you're going to ask yourself are always going to be very similar, and the process is very similar. Just the scale and the scope of what you're working with is going to change. And by the way, the type of work that you do varies depending on whether you work for a smaller business or a startup or a big tech company. And I've got a separate video talking about the difference in product management in startups versus top tech. Check that out. You might find that interesting. All right, so as always, those that have watched this channel before know what's coming up. The very first thing I think about when doing a lot of stuff relating to product management and business is think about the users. Who are the users? Who are the customers? Try to understand, especially if you're inheriting an existing product, it already has users. It already has customers. It already has people that interact with the product. Make sure you create an inventory of who these people are. Try to understand these users. What problems do they have? How are they solving their problems with your product right now? What are the different segments of the users that there can be? How can you meaningfully divide users in segments that might give you some interesting information about how they approach the product? So when you've got the entire user base, try to divide it into meaningful cohorts. Try to divide it by behavior, by use case. How are they approaching the product? What are they getting out of it? How are they interacting with it? Can you divide the user base based on the behavior, based on the usage of the product, so that you get a good feel for exactly how users are interacting with your product and hopefully glean why they're doing it, or maybe their underlying motivation for using the product. Now, take each segment and put yourself in the shoes of a user in one of those segments. What problem do you have? Why are you solving this problem with this product? What's the entire experience that you're going through? Think about the underlying motivation. Now, break each of those experiences into a specific user journey. So let's say you've got 3 different types of segments that you've identified. Users that log in every single day, users that log in once a week, and users that use the product for a while and then leave completely. So those are 3 different types of segments. And you need to understand a little bit more about these user segments so that you can actually put yourself in their shoes. What is it like to use the product as that user in that group? Starting from the very top, how do you learn about the product? How do you first start using the product? What are your interactions step by step with the product? How do you get deeper engaged into the experience, and how do you eventually pay for these services? What is that experience like? Try to map it out step by step, and that's called the user journey. You're mapping out multiple user journeys to try to understand what are the different steps involved in these processes. You can also break these down into different use cases. Some users and some user segments might interact with product in different ways entirely. One person might be approaching it casually, another person might have a specific use case, something they need to do every day or every week. Think about those use cases, think about those user journeys. Now, you've mapped those out for each user group, each user journey, each use case. Now think at every step, what are the pain points that you as the user are experiencing? What are the friction points? What are points of discomfort? What are some points that could be improved in order to improve the overall experience? What are the trouble spots ultimately? Always keep the user motivation in mind when you're thinking, I am this person, what am I trying to accomplish? Why am I doing this? Why do I have this problem at all? And why am I trying to fix it or solve this problem with this solution, with this product? And on every step, ask yourself, what is it that's preventing me from actually accomplishing my goal right now? Next, after you've identified some of these potential weak spots or gaps or pain points or friction points, think about potential improvement vectors. That means that for every one of those items, every one of those spots that you identified that you could make improvements on, think about what are these improvements that you can make. And you've got separate vectors that you can think about. You can try to make the experience faster. Is that going to help the user get what they want? What if you make it easier or simpler to understand? What if you make it cheaper? What if you make it free? What if you increase the utility or the fun, the entertainment, the pleasure that the user is getting out of this particular experience? What if you make it more rewarding? What if you make this particular part smoother or just look better or feel better to the user? What if you give more? How can you solve these gaps and weak points and pain points with certain improvements? Think about the user paths in general. Think about the concept of attracting user to the app, or the concept of acquisition. How could you do that better? What about the process of drawing user into the app? It's usually called activation or engagement. Why should the user or the customer stay with your product or go deeper into the funnel? Ultimately, you're thinking the user wants something, the user wants X, but what is actually standing in the way? What could be improved? By the way, this whole process requires you to think like a product manager. I've got a separate video talking exactly about that, how to think like a product manager. It's just you check that out and come back here after. And so after you've gone through segmenting the users, thinking about their motivation, thinking about the different user journeys and the different use cases, the different things that users or customers might be doing with your product, identifying some of these pain points and friction areas and potential areas of improvement, and marking how you can make specific actions to change each one of these liabilities, turn them into an asset that somehow improves the user experience, you're going to have this big list of potential improvements you can make. And this could be as small as fixing spelling mistakes, changing color of a font, or reducing the number of clicks it takes to accomplish a task from 3 to 1. But it could also be adding a meaningful feature, adding a feature that the product doesn't have at all, or combining multiple features into one, ultimately allowing the customer or the user to accomplish what they want faster, better, cheaper, and more enjoyably. After you do all that, you're going to have this big list of potential improvements, and that is your list of how to improve the product. But you're not done yet. Next step is to prioritize it. I actually have a separate video talking about prioritization for product managers. It's part of the Product Manager Fundamentals training playlist. You can check out this video here. But that entire list will need to be prioritized. The key thing about prioritization is that you're always dealing with limited resources, whether it's money, personnel, both. You're trying to have the biggest impact with as little effort as possible. And while a lot of time that could mean that you're making investments in these easy wins, these low-hanging fruit, the reality is you really should be weighing impact over effort, and whatever comes out should be prioritized. So that's the general concept of prioritization, is you try to get things to be apples to apples as much as possible, and you compare impact over effort. Which one of those features is going to be the simplest to do yet yield the biggest impact to the end user experience? And that's generally what you focus on. So that's how you improve a product in a nutshell. You can use this methodology on a business, on a product, on a feature, really on anything that can be improved, as long as you're always looking at it primarily from the user's point of view. If you like this video, make sure to smash the like button and share with your friends that may be interested in building or product management or business. And of course, let me know down in the comments if you have any questions or if you want to know anything else about how to improve an existing product. We have other videos talking about other aspects of product management, business, playlists. They're going to be all over the place, so make sure to explore, check out the different videos, and let me know what other content you'd like to see on the channel. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.